what is the motion today, right? The motion today is that this house regrets individual player awards in team sports. So what are individual awards? Individual awards, for example, per se, are like Ballon d'Or, Golden Boot, Man of the Match. So why do we do not want individual awards, right? So in team sports such as football, basketball, volleyball, so on and so forth, we believe that it is a team game, and to pinpoint one single player as the reason you win or as the reason you are successful is not a healthy way of furthering the sport. It's not a correct way of enhancing the sport's quality. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where does this debate happen right in this world? This debate should happen in a world where sports is popular, where sports is one of the biggest advertising, biggest marketing, biggest televised thing, one of the biggest thing on earth today, right? So, first things first, we believe that team sports should be played by a team. Like football, there are 11 players, and to say that one striker that scored 20 goals a season is the reason why you won the league is intellectually dishonest. Why? Because the striker did not goalkeep to prevent the team from conceding. He did not defend, he did not win the ball, he did not pass the ball to himself. So we believe that in individual awards, right, we believe that we should not recognize individual performance until we should give them an award. It's okay, it's a good game, you were a good player today, go on, but it's not okay to award an individual performance based on that merit alone. We believe that awards nowadays are not given on merit. We believe that it's populist. Why? For reasons given. If it's NBA, it's either Stephen Curry or LeBron James. If it's football, Messi or Ronaldo, so on and so forth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this case, right, we believe that in a world where sports is a team game, to pinpoint an individual performance would be unfair to everyone else. So what am I going to talk to you about today, right? Number one, I'm going to talk about why individual awards shouldn't be given to an individual performance because of certain reasons. My Deputy Prime Minister will then talk about how this will discourage sports quality and it will give a facade of national pride for that acceptance.
Do you realize that there is a procedure before choosing this winner? For example, collecting the track records of the game, collecting the amount of scores they have the goals, for example.
Okay, first of all, that is a misconception of how the Ballon d'Or works or how even the best player is picked, right? For example, the PFA Player of the Year or even the Ballon d'Or is not picked by this merit. They are picked by journalists, footballers and managers. So in these cases, it's become a populist award where it's awarded to the people that you like instead of the best performance. So in this case of awards, we do not agree that because you are popular, not because that you are the greatest of all the greatest, that you are given this award. So side opposition has to work out how these awards actually work before they can debate today, right? Okay, moving on. That why shouldn't we award people for their individual performance? Number one, there will be an over-recognition of a particular individual in a team sport. So let's say the recent case of Harry Kane claiming a goal from his own teammate, right? How is this even fair? Because he was pursuing an individual award of the top scorer, he was willing to risk team cohesion just to get one single goal in his egoistical view that he needs to be the best player in the team, he needs to be the best player on earth. We believe that this is not the case in team sport. We believe that this will actually decrease sports quality in general, right? Number two, that credit is not given where credit is due. For let's say a defender. No, in the example of basketball, where the center who gets all the rebounds don't really get recognition, but Stephen Curry, who shoots all the 3-pointers, is considered the best player on earth. Why? Because he scores, but he doesn't even defend. So, ladies and gentlemen, I proved to you that number one, the quality of the individual will reduce in their world, right? Number two, how it demotivates and discredits actual players. Why would a player in a team give their all if Ronaldo is going to win all the awards, if Messi is going to win all the awards, if that they're not even going to get recognized, right? Why would they give their all? Why would they play for a team when the best player in your team is not even playing for a team, he's playing for a name? This will lead to teams actually teams actually selling the name of their players instead the brand of football they play or the brand of success they have. This will lead to a more populist, to a more capitalistic view on sports rather than we want to play the best type of sports compared to we just want the best player, we want the name, we want to sell him for our marketing. So that is something that some opposition has to prove to us today, that in status quo that does not happen. Number 4, that the repeated over recognition of same players time and time again will lead to a new batch of young players to not exist. For example, if you have a good player, if you have 2 or 3 great individualistic players in your team, why would you give a chance to youngsters when if they do not play in a game, when they do not play, the team's credit in a whole is ignored, where the fans will protest. Ladies and gentlemen, what will happen to the sport? The sport will be so individualistic based that fans will riot just in case their favorite player doesn't play. Because we want him to win an award, we want him to be the best scorer so we can gloat to our friends. That is not the world of sports that we want. We believe that inside government, we will create a world where team sports quality rises as a whole, where individual performances rises as a whole, and even team spirit, where the spirit of sports, where the spirits of teammate, where team cohesion increases as a whole. What side opposition has to prove to us today? That there will not be an over-concentrated and populist award system to award individualistic performance. They also have to prove to us that in their world, that in status quo, sports quality will increase instead of decrease. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, I have never been so proud to propose.
Thanks, from this is the case from the opposition, and let's hear from leader of opposition. Thank you.
It is better for an individual to prioritize their own individual achievement. My second speaker will tell you why is that. Now, before that, I would like to give a few responses to the government's case, right? So, firstly, we hear that award is a populist award, right? So it's basically anyone who's popular will be favorited and will be given that award, right? Yeah, favoritism exists in absence of the award. So without the award, people will still like that player more. People will still give that player more recognition, right? So, why does it have to be award? So the definition of the awards in which they are talking about is something that we do not accept, right? We believe these kind of awards are given to players which shown, there is statistics that shown that they did this the best during the match. And that is the kind of reward in which we are talking about, right? Because if you notice, most of the arguments that's coming from side government is about against the privatization of sports. Why do I say so? Because privatization of sport is driven by profit, right? And profit profit is just so you make people happy, your audiences happy. When you make audiences happy, what do? You show them popular. Like you should give them the names that they want to see in television. You give them LeBron James that win the NBA all the time, and then like things like that. But what you're doing is actually degrading the award in which that was given to LeBron James because of his physical capability, because of the things that he did, and like that you are taking that away, and that in itself is just like immoral and whatnot, right? So like they say that credit is not given where credit is due. Like because like there's the best rebound player in the team, right? But LeBron James gets the best player award. But then when you hear the commentary that after the sportsman, right? Yeah, in this batch the best player that has rebound was this specific player that had the most rebound, right? There is still recognition to the contribution that people do. See, no thank you. See, in a team sport, right, it is not based upon, not everyone don't contribute equally. Like there's a spectrum of contribution, and there's also a spectrum of things that people contributed in. For example, if they want to take football, for example, there's going to be a people who contributed and not letting the ball go into the goal. There's people who contributed to having the best assist and to score the goal. There's people who contributed to having the best like one-on-one like statistics, right? And also the people who usually win the golden boot, right, is the person who scores the goal, right? The golden boot is an award to an individual person that scores the most goals. So it's just one specific contribution. So I think the solution or the alternative that we will provide in which the government can satisfy the government case is that we provide an award for each individual different achievement. So best scorer, best goalie, best assist, best one-on-one, things like that. These are kind of things that it recognizes the person's value, and also at the same time, you want them to, you make people happy, right? So it's shown that the credit is given to these people. Now, that's one thing. And secondly, I think there's people intuitively won't want to screw up a sports on purpose, because winning achieves more glory than being the best player itself, right? Winning the World Cup is a much more fancier thing to say. Or than just being the best player overall. And then if he keeps on, if the individual player keeps on screwing up the team and not achieving the result, I think teams will just drop him and not choose him and not want to team up with him. And if he's recognized as a player that is not cooperative, and teams will not be able to use him. For example, if a debater that no matter how you cannot work well with and you always lose tournament, you don't have the incentive to want to team up with him, right? So, and that's just one of the things, right? Now, secondly, we tell you why achievement is important for two different things, right? Firstly, is to motivate each other, because with the absence of it, you will lose motivation, right? So, why awards are important? It cultivates friendly competition, right? Because it cultivates friendly competition, right? That means that you want to put more hard work to reach that award. You want to put in more hard work, and you want to win. Because why? Innately, people want to be recognized, right? People want to be recognized. People want their hard work, want the effort that they have done to be recognized by other people, right? And if they put in so much effort, and then all they just say that it's a team effort, they don't feel satisfied, because why did I go through all that training for nothing? That is something that I do not want, right? They want to further themselves. That is why a lot of people who want to further themselves will increase the competitiveness, right? Right? Later on. So what would this look like? This looks like the sports field being more highly competitive, because everyone wants to strive for their award. Everyone will work their best. You make the sports field more competitive. Everyone you will have the highest quality of players out there, right? That means when highest qualities of players, and when you have the highest qualities of players out there, teams will be able to select the best players to represent the team to win the medal. For example, that's why you have selections. That's why if you don't make the A team, you go to the B team. But the A team is the one that's most likely to win, right? That is why it's very important. If you want to win, right? Now, before moving on, sure.
First, in your speech, you said that team awards are better than individual awards, but then you said if we take away individual awards, the players lose motivation to succeed. So, which one are you? Why are you contradicting yourself now?
I'm saying that team awards can exist, and at the same time, individual awards can exist. There's no they don't contradict each other out, right? And also, it's principle to acknowledge an individual's hard work, right? It is principle for them to do this, and then also sometimes people depend on this to make a livelihood. Is in principle for them to be the best, so that they're able to get better income, to have a better outlook within their life, to maybe join a better team and whatnot, right? So in absence of this, what would it look like? It looks like a degradation of team. Why do I say so? Someone that puts so much hard work, effort, right? But all they just get is, yeah, it's a team effort, it's the team that win this thing. Then the person will be like, why the hell am I putting such hard work? I don't have to put in such hard work, right? I can just because it's just going to be recognized as a team effort anyways, I might as well just do the same as a team. I will not push myself harder. You will not get the best quality of the teams, and that is why it is back, right? Because people slack off, right? Like, it is unfair to people who put in the extra effort, and it's unfair to people who don't put in the effort at all and get the recognition that, oh wow, you won this competition, but when he didn't really do anything at all, right? So why do we care, right? We care is because we lose the competitiveness in sport, right? The sports become complacent. Like, no, it's not like no one's getting ever going to get recognized for the individual contribution that they did, right? There's going to be lesser qualities of players, and then there's going to be loss of interest within the sports, and then particularly the sport will lose its popularity and lose its interest because people know that if the effort I put in is not really worth it because it is going to be distributed within all my teammates, right? And also we care because it's as a mean of motivation for people to strive for the best. And lastly, the exclusive benefit on our side is that we will have a more competitive sphere, whereas on their side, there isn't really much things or you need more analysis and whatnot. With that, probably will close.
Madam Chair, unfortunately, Syed government lives in a world where a commentary telling you that you had most rebounds in a season is not something you can go back home, tape it and hang it on your wall saying, oh, I won something. However, a Ballon d'Or on the other side, or an MVP ring, or whatsoever individual award which is considered the ultimate award in that specific sport, that is something that the person will treasure and the other people will probably aspire to achieve. But we tell you how this aspiration towards achieving these goals in our world will not be able to happen because of these individual awards, right? Now, Nadzreen came up to you and told you how it's a team sport and therefore if you want to give recognition, even out the recognition, either give all of them awards based on their team performance or don't give anybody award because of the following reasons. Because every goal in basketball or football or any team sport for the matter is not the work of an individual, and how if you continuously award the individual, say in the Premier League, if you score the most goals you'll get the golden boot at the end of the year, the person would want to travel through the whole field by himself and score that goal instead of letting his teammates work as a team to score a goal, right? And we think that that further goes on to demotivate these discredited players and leads to end of the day, these demotivated, discredited players will kind of back down, letting this player go on and have his spotlight, which leads to the same player being over-recognized continuously, or even causing rifts between players within, say, Premier League or a Spanish league, where you constantly see transfers going around and scandals going around as to why, because of a certain way some player behaves on field and wants the spotlight to himself, other players are willing to leave teams and transfer elsewhere where they can get the possible opportunity but happen to not work to their favor and they fade out to the background, right? And furthermore, I'd like to thank the leader of opposition for going through the pain to actually prove our case further as to how these awards, the same way you said that team awards would kind of demotivate players to go and win the top prize and therefore best themselves, we think that very thing works in our favor when we tell you that if you give one player the extra edge over the rest, rather than giving them a level playing ground by which they can prove themselves as a team, then we think not only will they perform better as a team under our paradigm because we are giving them a level playing field, but also we will not let fame get to the heads of certain players which can go on and oversell themselves to the public at large, right? Now, moving on to why individuals will not improve individually having won or in order to win these specific awards, right? Number one, as we have told you, that this overpopularity and this populist contest that makes these players such as Ronaldo and Messi completely win all Ballon d'Ors in the past 10 years, right? We think that this over-recognition is simply because people are so hell-bent on watching Messi and Ronaldo that they don't pay enough attention to people that might be showing remotely the same performance in different leagues, right? And we think that this goes back to, again, disincentivizing youngsters to potentially become the next Ronaldo or Messi in order to win these awards, because in general, it does not make a conducive playing field for the team as a whole, right? And furthermore, these popular and repeat winners often become complacent unless they have equal competition. For example, only our generation has seen these two players because they have given each other equal competition in the field. However, players that are, say, 2 years or 3 years younger or possibly have remotely the same stats will not be able to gain or probably give up halfway because they know that these players, due to their popularity and statistics, will be able to win the award. Yeah, before that.
If you assume that these awards are given based on popularity, it means popularity will always exist in both scenarios.
Yeah, I get that.
I do not see why favoritism will only exist under our
Yeah,
system.
you don't realize that at the end of the day, the way the Ballon d'Or is awarded is that yes, we do take in statistics. Yes, we do narrow it down to the top 15 players that we are going to award it to. But then once the 15 players are shortlisted by statistics, the same way the Electoral College chose Donald Trump, you have these people that are biased in their own ways and do not represent the people that end up choosing the final winner of the award. And that is something you really need to take into opinion when you want to come up and talk on this matter. And thirdly, but lastly, my point is that at the end of the day, say if it's the FIFA World Cup, or for example, we had Syed or something, there was a Malay player that won the Puskas Award at the end of the day. These people do bring national pride to the country, but we believe that this national pride is not healthy when it's derived from individual player awards, right? And this is because at the end of the day, when somebody from Malaysia scores the best goal of the year and is awarded the Puskas Award, everybody in the world will suddenly have this facade that maybe Malaysian football is revolutionary, maybe Malaysian national team is doing fantastic, and this furthermore urges people to put undue pressure on these national teams that are possibly not even doing that great. As we know, Malaysian team has dropped in world rankings constantly over the past few years, even though some Sabri went and scored the best goal of the year. And we think that this facade of national progress in this sports field is unhealthy and therefore should not be derived from individual awards, and therefore individual awards shouldn't be even prioritized in the first place rather than giving them to team awards for a team effort that these games clearly are. Towards the end, I move on to quick 4 rebuttals on how I tackled what they said on the basis of awards. I said that it's not strictly statistical. Secondly, I said yes, recognition is given to every single player via commentary and so on and so forth, but at the end of it, they over-recognize one player, which is unhealthy for the team. Thirdly, no, these players won't screw up and cannot be removed from their teams. What we are talking about is people stealing goals, whereas a fellow teammate might be potentially almost scoring a goal and someone goes in head and butts his head in where it was going to go in anyway because he wants to win that individual award more than the other, therefore causing a rift between teams. And also, another thing that they clearly disregarded was the role of managers in a football field. It is not democracy on the football field. Teams cannot tell the manager that, oh, because 9 of us don't like the best striker that you bought for 150 million this summer, oh, we are going to vote to have him removed and not play in the match because he's stealing and disregarding all of our votes. We think that if side opposition wants to even remotely take this debate, they need to understand the mechanism of how sports and team sports work and how toxic the very idea of individual awards is to this concept. Thank you.
Government completely mistaken our stance here. We do not want to remove team awards. We believe that team awards and individual awards can coexist in peace. Because like what we stated before, just because we value the hard work of Fang, for example, for being the whip of our team, if we win this tournament, it doesn't mean that our credit is taken. That's why we believe that individual achievement can also coexist with team awards as well. Because they can never prove to you why this team award will be harmed just because the existence of the individual awards, right? But furthermore, before moving to my own extensions here, I will deliver some points of rebuttals towards the opposition. The first point is how they believe that sport needs to be a team player and so on and so forth. We know, but they never prove to you why. Because Ralph proves to you that even if it is a team game, but we should recognize individual effort. For example, that is why the selection to go to WSDC is not like a team selection, but individually. Because the amount of effort and the amount of skill that consists in that team is different from everyone to everyone. That's why we need to recognize that there is certain effort that is more, that needs to be recognized, right? And also, we will also believe that this is not the world where sports is all about the game you play in high school. For some people, it's career too, ladies and gentlemen. And I will prove to you later when it is okay to recognize this individual career within the sports game itself, right? But second rebuttal, but how they glorified it is always given based on popularity and so on and so forth. Right? We believe that first of all, there are already procedures in order to choose these players, right? But let's deal with the best case scenario, right? Even when, for example, all these merits are dismissed and you only choose these people based on their popularity. In order to get this popularity, you have to possess something. You have to possess that skill. For example, if your favorite player sucks, why would he be popular and so on and so forth, right? It means in order to be popular, you have already possessed something that worth your value. For example, like you can make that beautiful swimming style or etc. and etc. That's why we believe even in our very worst case scenario, when it's only based on popularity, that is still okay because that person still deserves it at the last. And also, third rebuttal. Why do they believe so much that it will take the team credit and etc.? They never prove this, ladies and gentlemen, because like what Lars said, people will still get the incentive in order to get the best, in order for the team to pass, right? In order for the team to win the tournament and so on and so forth. Because if you perform poorly, it means your team cannot proceed to the next round and you will lose your career as well, right? That's why even if these other people will not win the same award, I believe that they will still have the incentive to keep their career, and even it makes them more motivated to reach the same potential as this particular topper will in fame and will like be selfish and wants to play for himself. If you only play for yourself, and if you mess up with the game, Rob said that in the worst case scenario, you can always keep this person from this team, right? Because that's the role of the manager. The manager can manage. If there is this person who plays selfishly, you can always keep this person out, right? Later, thank you. Now I will move to my own extensions, right? I will prove to you about a few things. The first thing is why it is justifiable to not only uphold the team play and also include the individual team spirit. We cannot deny that nowadays, sport is not only a game. Sport is a commodity. Sport is a job for you. Sport is a career for you. For example, like sport as a career, it is only a short-term career. Once you grow up, 40 plus or so, you will not be in that team anymore, right? Because you retire as an athlete. At least, if you give this individual person recognition, you give them something that they can use. For example, if they later wants to be a coach or etc. etc. This is a career for them. That's why they have a motivation to work harder so that they can be paid, paid more. For example, that is why people likes to win this award, not only team awards. But because if you're the best of your team, you will be sponsored by this Nike, for example. You will be chosen by Adidas to become the next face of Adidas, for example. This thing, ladies and gentlemen, is why I believe individuals have individual motivation to become even the best of their team, with not only neglecting the rest of the team, but also like to improve themselves more and more. Alright? And also the second thing is why it's principally correct to just pick people. It's a way we believe, because we also give the team credit, right? The procedure to get that award is that you collect all the team members' records, for example. So you will also acknowledge this person, for example, for having like the most assists, for example, not only the person who scored the most goals, for example. These track records are still exist and are still published. The difference is that we recognize the award, the bigger the top award or the MVP, so that everyone can strive to be the best person to reach this level. This is the exclusive benefit that they will not have, because people will only think about, okay, I don't really need to perform this well anyway, because that person can also do it because it is a team job and etc. and etc. The moment when you have an individual inherent motivation in yourself, you will work hard, and in the result you will make betterment for your team as well. But the next thing, right? The next extension is about the impact. Why we believe? Yes, further.
Yeah. When was the last time a non-striker won the Ballon d'Or or got a Nike endorsement?
we believe that, first of all, like what I stated before, even if they do not get this award, they will still get recognition by, for example, the track record and etc. Right? But even if so, we believe that the moment this particular player win this award, the other player, it will also bring good image to the team itself. Why? Because people will ask, where did Ronaldo come from? For example, he comes from Real Madrid. Then the rest of the team, Real Madrid team, will also be popular also because they are upholded by the name of Ronaldo itself. And in the end of the day, they will also strive to also be reaching the same level as Ronaldo in their team, right? That's why we believe that it will make better improvement for the team itself. Because when you collect this award, right, the procedure is like to collect the track records and so on and so forth. The manager will be better evaluate this team. For example, okay, you suck at this. Okay, for the goal, this person is better in the center, for example. This track record, which is used in order to determine which one is the best player, is very crucial in order to determine the top team, in order to determine which player should be played in the next round and etc. This is very crucial because in order for the team to success, you will have to go let out the best people, right? If you do not want to recognize the individual achievement, then how will you measure the top teams and how will you choose the person that will go to the next tournament? Because it is crucial and we cannot deny the importance of this, right? For example, in AP, for example, to go to this tournament, you have to undergo certain selection in order, because you cannot just go there, go to the A team, right? That's why you need to push yourself harder. That's why we believe if you do not measure the scores, for example, if you do not judge them based on their scores, individual scores, then how will you necessarily determine the next person to be used in that team, right? It means you are harming the team itself, and we believe that it's very contradictory. Thank you for your attention.
Right, thanks. Let's have Kamil here.
Yeah.
Records are not awards. Awards are not records. Track records have somehow made their way into this debate by virtue of side opposition's convoluted understanding of what we are debating today. This House regrets individual awards, not track records. Track records have always existed in status quo and they are not in dispute today. You cannot validly bring a track record to the level of an individual player award, such as one in the level of a Ballon d'Or, or such as an MVP and all that, and put it up there and say that, okay, even though, as mentioned by Satya and was never properly addressed in a POI, a non-striker has never in recent history won a Ballon d'Or. Even in such circumstances, you can't just say, oh, but then there's a track record for the best defender. It does not make logical sense. We are saying today that awards are being given to certain individuals, even though there are unspoken rules and unspoken barriers to entry that will prove as disincentives for the rest of the players. And still, they again and again refuse to engage with that and address that, how under their paradigm these barriers to entry do not exist, but rather choose to keep harping on how track records will somehow be the equivalent of individual player awards. This is something we do not agree to, and we do not see how any reasonable person could agree to. So before that, let's go into detail what's come out of the yellow and what's come out of the other. And after that, compare against what we have brought to the debate today. Okay, first, they say that that we can never prove the merit of team awards as opposed to individual player awards, when Satya and my PM have explicitly told you that individual player awards harm team cohesion. They harm incentives among players. They harm all this. And by virtue, we have given you an alternative, how team awards are better by improving team cohesion, by telling players that if you want recognition, if you want excellence, you can only gain it through a team award, as considered even by side opposition, who came up and said that, oh, when you go to World Cups, you see people who just play because they want to win, because it's the only way to win. That is what we are fighting for today, as considered by themselves, that in a world where the only award you can win is a team award, where you have to put your egotistical self aside and work together for your team to play, that is the world that we are fighting for, and that is the world that they themselves use as an example. In a World Cup, you fight with your team because you want to get that World Cup, and there is no best player in the World Cup. Yes, sure.
Prove to us why this individual achievement will discourage them from reaching out for team achievement.
Sorry, once again, please.
Prove to us why by aiming for this individual achievement, one individual will lose the interest to win for the team achievement.
Okay. I don't see why it's coming out now when he has sufficiently said it enough. Harry Kane would threaten his own team cohesion to claim a goal and potentially break up the good image of his own team when they themselves have conceded that football is a whole popularity contest. No, thank you. The advent of individual player awards that run based on populace and also carry spillover effects like ambassadorships that they say, these all are inadvertently linked back to individual player awards. These incentives are stronger incentives compared to the sportsmanship incentive that is at the back of the mind of players that encourages them to play in a team. This is something we can only afford to do in a world where there is only a team award. That regardless of what you want, the only way to come out on top is to bring everyone together with you. And then they say that managers can punish uncompetitive or selfish players. Now, when managers themselves put lineups out in front to put the most popular players, players with the most individual awards, to create the most entertaining match there is, why in the world would they go and kick that guy out who is bringing so much money in for the team because they have individual player awards, when they can kick out the other media players and call them that you are uncompetitive? Managers are not an unbiased force that you can validly use as a justification for your point. No, thank you. Now, they keep saying that in the absence of individual player awards, there will not be an individual incentive to succeed. Now, we do not see why that would be. We have conceded with them that if you join a sport, you yourself want to be better, you want to be recognized, you want all that. We're telling you the only way to get it now under our paradigm is to go in a team, play with your team, win as a team, and the whole team gets a recognition instead of you kicking all your teammates aside just to get that goal in and being recognized. So, validly one can see that which form of incentive is better. Incentive is always going to be there. The drive to succeed is always going to be there. The manifestation is what is important in this debate today. Under our side, it manifests itself in a better, ethical, and more equitable way. Now, and they keep emphasizing that the aspect of career is really important and individual player awards will assist in career. Now, here's the thing. We are okay with Lee Chong Wei winning a gold medal because he entered an individual sport. Now, what would happen if the Malaysian football team won a game and the striker went up, got a gold medal, and everybody else didn't get anything? That's what we're telling today. If you want an individual player award to succeed as an individual, go find an individual career, not a team career. Plain and simple. If you do not want to put in all the effort that you have to put in to get the individual player award, then you should not get the individual player award. Plain and simple. Now, a few other main things coming out from Elo, that again, it's basically the same thing. Motivation and inspiration. It exists better on our side. It's because you, as a sportsman, you have to fight with your team to win. Rather than you knowing that you go to work, you see those 10 guys on the field, but in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, where's the shortest pass for me to come across, get that ball and score it, so that the TV see me, I get the Ballon d'Or, and later I get a Nike sponsorship. Okay, so we've told you why individual player awards have so many harms and so many negligible benefits that are in dispute today, which is being propagated by side opposition. We have told you an alternative to what we are inventing today. An alternative is team awards. We have told you why that works, and they have not justified enough why team awards don't work. We are saying that they can coexist, but they should not coexist. Just because you can does not mean it should. That is what we're telling today. And again, we've come out and told you that individual awards have so many harms. We've told you that there'll be over-recognition, there'll be a false national pride, there'll be complacency among people, there'll be a very, very vast disincentive among players, which would lead to detriment of the particular industry. In face of all this, why would someone keep individual players right there as a valid alternative? That is the question that they have to answer today, that so far they have not answered today, and we do not believe they will ever be able to answer today. Thank you.
good players, good individual players, right? But obviously, on many teams, there are good players and there are bad players, and you can't differentiate it if you don't give sufficient recognition to the good players, and you can't evaluate who are the ones lacking in effort and whatever, right? So let's see the comparisons. I'm asking, okay, what's better for the success of the team, right? On their side, they said that if you were to regret it, then it'll jeopardize team cohesion, right? But we disagree. We say that as a team, the growth as a team is not only by the team but also as individual, as people. Because for example, parallel to this debate team, if I was just depending on my other teammates to carry me forth, then this team will always will never be as good as it can be, because this one person is always lacking, is not trying to better himself, right? So you say that some people will be egoistic and selfish, and that will lead to the jeopardization of team cohesion, right? We disagree, as you said before, because there is the being egoistic has its heart, because once you become egoistic, once you prioritize yourself, right, then automatically your team will underperform, and once your team underperforms, you are highly unlikely to even win some sort of individual award recognition. So when that happens, they won't even get what they wanted, which is the individual award. So what's the point there? So next we're talking about motivation, right? Which side gives better incentive for people to be better, right? Their side, they said that teamwork purely based on team effort, will the players be incentivized to work together? But how is that true? Because if I was team player in a football match, right, and I worked my ass off just to actually win this round, but then there are people who aren't doing as well as me, and who aren't trying to be as good as they can be, then I feel like sit down. I feel like I'll be used, I'll be taken advantage of, and that gives me less of a motivation to do so. Right? Sit down, please. Next. On our side, when we're talking about motivation, right? When you see somebody that like your teammate who you have worked with, who has a bond with you, right? He's your friend, and he got an award saying that, hey, you're a really good player. Then instead of feeling demotivated just because my friend right here, somebody that I have worked with in a team and I have a bond with, I would sit down, please. I would rather instead of feeling decentralized, because I'll never be like him, I feel like I would learn more from him. I would go up to him as see him as better than me, so I can learn to be better from him, you see. So that gives you more motivation to work harder and to learn from the people who have won the award. Sit down, please. Next.
Before this,
Sure.
under this situation, do you think that all players require equity or equality?
In this situation, we say equity. Hold on. Okay. Talking about managers, right? On that side, they talked about managers. They say that because managers are there it's not a democracy, and managers will pick whoever that is more likely to get them the money. The thing is, that is not the problem of the awards, but the problem of the managers, right? The managers system. But even if that happens, managers will more likely choose people based on their statistics, or based on their track record, based on how well they perform, versus the popularity. Because if you have a really shit player trying to who has a good reputation versus a really good player who doesn't have much reputation, I as a manager, and most managers would agree, that they would pick the person with more talent, right? Next. So on our case, you know what our worst case scenario is that our worst case scenario, as they have portrayed, is that players who win the award will never change. Let's just say that happens, right? There's always going to be Lionel Messi who's going to win the award. It's always going to be CR7. What happens then, right? You as I said before, in a team, if I was in a team with CR7, I would go to him and I would learn from him. I would better the team, right? Better myself and in turn better the team. Sit down, please. Whereas in their best case scenario, their team won't grow, won't be better, won't be because nobody is. In that team they won't grow because nobody can learn from anybody, and it's just stagnant. There's no betterment of anybody, just for the team, right? Next, so no incentive to be better. Next, we're talking about lastly, I would say, career. Most people depend on this as a career, right? And most of the time, if you were to like, if you're a good player, then you will get incentives and whatever from companies or whatever, right? And if you have like an award, that will be even better for you. So when it comes to careers, when you have awards, more likely than not, companies will sponsor you, become spokesmanship, and that can add to your career, right? Whereas which gives them even more of an incentive to become the best, to strive to become more of the best player, the individual player, versus not having, and instead of that, the company is not focusing on players at all, focusing on the team, and very vague, and nobody will actually strive to be better. With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
So I'm going to prove to you how Syed government lost these. Firstly, they're debating in a world like there's only individual reward exists. So team reward is not a thing. Like that's what they have been saying throughout all three speakers. Why one person only win the gold medal, quoting the speaker, when everyone else contributed to the fight? Like that is not status quo. We're arguing, like on our side opposition, we are taking a more realistic view on status quo in that team award exists. People will be credited for the contribution to the team, but at the same time, we believe that individual contribution within like the sports or within that event itself is also something that should be credited and that provides contribution, right? They didn't tell us why both cannot coexist at the same time. There was no analysis. We've been asking them to analyze this. There was none. They're just saying that individual award is very bad. But the reason why, like, no responses, right? Most of the arguments we heard from side government is about sports shouldn't be about politics and sports shouldn't be privatized, right? They give you a lot of why sports shouldn't be politics because there's a lot of favoritism involved, and that's why these favoritisms like affect a lot of things within sports itself, right? They tell you that the manager is the dictator, so you do not get chances to go on the field and whatnot. If the manager is a dictator and you are Harry Kane and you fuck up the goal for your team, you're going to get put off for the season because he's going to score you. You're going to suffer retribution and whatnot, right? That is what's going to happen in status quo, right? Right.
And then at the privatization, people win on all these scorers, because it's privatized, these sports are privatized, that's why these big awards are profitable if you put in a scorer or a striker, and then that is why they can garner more money, more attention from the public and whatnot, right? Those are arguments against the privatization of sports in itself, right? And even if we buy into those arguments and that there's a lot of politics and favoritism, right? But at least there's a chance for an individual to be recognized for the things that they have done, for the contribution that they did, for the hard work that they have put in. Because why? We had, from the first speaker on opposition side, we have told you that it is principle to acknowledge a person's contribution to that thing. Everyone they contributed, but it is also due to his contribution that they won the World Cup. For example, it is due to Mario Götze's contribution that he managed to put the ball into the goal and he won the World Cup. He should be recognized for that. Yes, sure, the team all contributed for it, right? But that specific winning opportunity or that specific winning argument within a debate is contributed to that player, and we believe we should reward contribution to the player, right? That's why we told you it's principle. So even if there's so much politics and so much flow, right, in the end it's still principle for us to do such a thing, right? Because of the contribution for one aspect, and I told you, my speakers told you, there's statistics and whatnot, right? Now, secondly, what we told you, right? We told you team award is not the only way to be a motivation. They didn't give us how it's the only way to motivate people to be in sports, right? Because even when there is this awards thing that's going on, right, you will want to know where you stand among other people. Also, my second speaker said, right, you will want to know how you're doing within this sports. You want to know your speaker scores. You want to see whether you can be the best within this debate. And it's also a very important matrix within the thing, right? Now, there is no analysis on how contribution would always be equal, right? Which side leads to equal award, right? Why does an individual who work much harder than a team to put them to the goal or to reach their full potential when they can just work the same as a team? And how will that team be the best, right? Because why? Who has the best benefit in this debate, right? We believe that a side opposition has best benefit because we increase the quality of the player because of the competition that exists, because people want that award and recognition. On their side, they do not achieve such benefit, right? And also, we acknowledge people's hard work, we acknowledge the things that they went through, and that is why it's much better. Like I said, even in the end, people don't win or whatnot, at least it is still principle to recognize. With that, what's your thoughts?
Right, thanks. We would finish the discussion and start the public slide.
I think we've had a fair amount of side opposition putting words in our mouth, hearing our speeches, choosing one word, categorizing it into how they may rebut us without listening to the whole thing. However, on the other hand, we'd like to thank side opposition for showing the way how we can prove to you that there is clear alternatives to individual awards, given that in status quo, we, contrary to what they believe, have said in all three of our speeches that yes, team awards do exist, but they should be the only ones that exist because of the toxicity of the very nature of individual awards, right? And the very alternative that we offered to you, and hence why we won the first clash, which was the track records against the awards thing, was that at the end of the day, if you have individual track records, individual awards, clearly individual awards are held with more prestige than individual track records. But however, if there are no individual awards and there are only team awards and team track records and individual track records, all those individual track records can be the awards that these individual players strive to achieve, and therefore motivates them, and therefore we get the benefits that we get on their side, on our side in status quo, given without the toxicity of those awards to begin with, right? And secondly, the second clash was about coexisting of track records and awards, but why they shouldn't and why we took this clash was that we proved to you why they shouldn't, because of the very nature that it not only creates an unlevel playing field for the players to compete in, but clearly, as they did mention, was that different players get different endorsements from different brands. And clearly these players that win these individual awards these players that are seen more often on TV are going to be selected to win these awards and to get these endorsements. And then we think that even if this is a career for all of these players, then why are they not rightfully getting the endorsements they deserve? Why is that individual player that not only won the award getting the endorsement, which makes him more successful in his career as well? And thirdly, it was the motivation incentive factor, where they said that under their paradigm there clearly be more motivation and incentive for these players to perform well. But we tell you no, because just like I told you, these players are maintaining a career, and if as a team, if they are not chosen for endorsements based on their track records as individual players, as a part of a collective of a team, then it will not be fair to let any of these people unfairly progress in their careers and be given endorsements based on these individual awards. And fourthly, we spoke about the impact of awards in general, and we think that this impact of awards, not only on a national scale, these individual awards become toxic because it's an unhealthy facade that people think that the nation is progressing, but also for the whole transfer battle that I talked to you about, how these players don't screw up on field. Their teams definitely still win. It's just that the star player that has had the most goals through this week puts his leg in and manages to deflect the ball to score yet another goal, and we think that damages the team's morale, and that the managers are not going to take off their star players regardless of what happens. It's not because they lose their matches, it's because they continue to win the matches, but we think that the toxicity of this defeats the whole spirit of the game and the reason why teams work as a collective to win games. And for all these reasons, that we do not want these teams to have rifts among each other's players and to be able to play for the spirit of the game, as well as for everybody's collective benefit in their careers as to where they are chosen by track records and not individual awards to get their endorsements and succeed in their careers. For all those reasons, I've never been prouder to propose